Okay, welcome to the Panel 7 orientation video, learning to do expedited reviews for the IRB. Panel 7 is a little bit of a different panel, and so this presentation is meant to tell you about how Panel 7 differs from being on one of the normal panels, Panels 1 through 6, for the University of Utah IRB. So the purpose of Panel 7 is to only review expedited studies. There are no convened meetings held for Panel 7, with the goal of being able to give Panel 7 reviewers many expedited studies throughout the month so that expedited studies are getting reviewed quicker. So the goal is to shorten review times for these expedited studies because we're able to get them reviewed faster instead of having to wait for a reviewer from a regular panel to take a look at the study. And additionally, we'd like to decrease the number of expedited reviews for full-time IRB members to help decrease their workload so they can focus their time on full board reviews that are going to panels 1 through 6. Panel 7 responsibilities include the following. You need to have expertise in the areas relevant to these expedited studies. Our goal is to only assign you studies that are within your realm of expertise. And so if you are in psychology, we'll give you studies that are relevant to psychology, and etc. The goal is to review expedited studies within 1 week of assignment. So you will have 1 week from the day that you're assigned that review to get that review done in order to efficiently have a running review time for these expedited studies. As a reviewer, you will be expected to review 5 to 10 expedited studies per month. And this is on a continual basis each month. There is no assignment schedule for this. This means that at any time during the month, you could be assigned a review. And this could be an expedited review for a new study, for a continuing review, or for an amendment. And that from the day that you get that assignment, you have 7 days to complete that review and get it either approved or sent back to the IRB staff for revisions. This is a little bit different than the way that we manage expedited reviews for our regular panels because they are on a set schedule each month based on their board meeting. Because Panel 7 will not meet, there is not a set schedule based on a board meeting, and so it has to be a running or continual assignment schedule with the goal, again, of being able to assign expedited reviews to reviewers at any time instead of waiting for a meeting that's upcoming so that those expedited reviews can get reviewed faster. In addition to that, if you're a Panel 7 member, we ask that you inform the IRB staff in advance when you'll be unable to complete reviews, either because you're on vacation or you're taking sabbatical or you've got some sick time, etc., just so that we're not assigning reviews to you during a time when you will be unable to complete them, so that we can give them to someone who'll be able to assess them and review them within those 7 days from the assignment. The IRB staff here at the University of Utah IRB are listed here. Probably the most important individuals for you to take stock in are your IRB coordinators listed on the left and your IRB administrators listed on the right. These are the individuals that will be actually making the assignment to you to do an expedited review and with whom you can email and ask questions if you have problems with the review, if you're not quite sure about something, etc. We've also got a group of ERICA programmers and specialists when it comes to running ERICA, and that's Bob Larson, Brett Shirley, and Rowana Keogh. They will be able to answer any questions you have if ERICA is giving you any troubles, if you're having access or you're having errors. Considering all of the expedited reviews are done remotely through the ERICA system, it's good to know the ERICA people who can help you with any problems you may encounter there. So as I mentioned earlier, the types of expedited reviews you will be assigned are for new studies, for continuing reviews, for amendments, and then if there is a continuing review and an amendment together in one application. These applications are exactly the same for full board studies as they are for expedited reviews. So as you have done full board reviews before, you'll be very familiar with the layout and the information that is gathered in all of these applications. And the board reviewer checklist that you'll be using for each of these is basically the same as well. It's the same content. You're looking for the same types of things. For expedited reviews, however, you'll get some additional pages to confirm the expedited review status of each one of these items that you'll be reviewing, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So for the most part, these are things that you've seen before. You should be familiar with their content, and if you're not, please do ask us for assistance, and we can help you find the things that you may not be able to locate as part of that review. So for new studies, the important thing to realize is that any new study that is expedited must be minimal risk and must fit into either category or into one of the expedited categories, numbered 1 through 7. All of these categories are available on the IRB website, and additionally, they are available within your checklist. You'll use your regular new study checklist as normal, and then you'll have one additional page that you will confirm the expedited category. A recommendation will be given to you by the IRB administrator or coordinator who reviewed that new study first. And so you'll be able to see what they recommend in terms of which expedited category to use and either agree with them by selecting the same category or disagreeing with them. For expedited continuing reviews, as well as continuing reviews plus amendments, you'll be asked to fit that continuing review application or the study as a whole into one or more of the expedited categories that are defined by federal regulation. In this case, there are 2 extra sets of categories that can be used. So with new studies, it's categories 1 through 7. For continuing reviews, we use those same categories 1 through 7, but we add also categories 8 and 9. In the case of Category 8, this is the only situation in which a study at continuing review can be expedited if the study is not minimal risk as a whole. So this is used when we have a greater than minimal risk study, perhaps a clinical trial, and the study is either no longer seeing participants and is only in data analysis, and no ongoing procedures are happening beyond that data analysis and follow-up, or if the study has yet to enroll any participants and no new risks have been identified. That is what we use Category 8 for. In this case, just as with new studies, you'll use your regular continuing review checklist, and there will be one additional page at the end for you to confirm the expedited category, one of the categories 1 through 9, or multiple perhaps. And again, there will be a recommendation from the administrator or coordinator who reviewed it as a staff member, recommending which category should be used, and you are asked to either confirm that by agreeing with it or to select a category that is more appropriate. Expediting amendments is a little bit different. When we look at expediting new studies and continuing reviews, we're looking at the study as a whole and which category that study fits in as a whole. And with expedited amendments, it's a little bit different because we not only can look at it as a whole, but we can look at it in terms of just the amendment itself. So for example, there can be a greater than minimal risk study that is not eligible for being expedited as a new study or continuing review, but the amendment that is being submitted for that greater than minimal risk study may be eligible to be expedited. So these 2 boxes here that you see are the situations under which you can expedite an amendment. The first box on the left is talking about situations where we're only looking at the contents of the amendment. This is where the changes are minor, and in our definition, minor means that the changes do not involve greater than minimal risk to the participants, and the proposed changes do not have a significant impact on the risk level of the study, the risk-benefit ratio of the study, or the participants' willingness to participate in the study or continue their participation in the study. You can see that in this case, a greater than minimal risk study may have a change that is minor, and so while the study as a whole cannot be expedited, the amendment certainly can be. In the box on the right, this is where we look at the study as a whole in order to expedite the amendment. So if the study was expedited at last review, either as the new study or continuing review under an expedited category, and the amendment does not change the expedited status of the full study, so at the end of the day, after that amendment is reviewed, the study itself still fits into the original expedited category it was given at new study or continuing review, then the amendment itself can still be expedited. And in this case, it means that a fairly substantial amendment could be put through for that study, but if it was already expedited in the past and it can still be expedited in the future once this amendment is approved, we have decided that the amendment itself can be expedited since the entire status of the study yields itself to an expedited category. When you're filling out your checklist, essentially, for expedited amendments, you'll be asked to confirm then either one or both of these sets of criteria. And so you'll fill out your normal amendment checklist with an additional page, either 1 or 2 pages, depending on which box you're using here to confirm that the amendment is eligible for expedited review. So you'll either be asked to confirm that the changes are minor according to our definition here on the left, or you'll be asked to confirm that the study itself is expeditable and the amendment does not change the expedited status. So that is the category on the right. When you are filling out your checklist, please do note that the staff here at the IRB also fill out a checklist that is separate from yours, and our checklist can trigger all of the necessary pages that are needed for your checklist, so you don't have to worry that you've missed something. If a study is eligible to be expedited, the staff checklist will tell the board member checklist that that is the case and give you all of the information that you need and all the pages that you need in your checklist in order to make that happen. So the staff will make expedited category recommendations, and those will appear in your checklist as a guide. So you'll be able to see which categories or which criteria the IRB staff member selected prior to giving it to you for review. If you don't agree with the staff determination in some way, if you either think it fits under a different expedited criteria or you don't think it should be expedited at all, please let the staff know. We have to confirm that all of your determinations as made by a board member are correct and fit within the regulations, and that they match the determinations that we're intending to make when we process the study. So do send an email to the staff member who did the initial review so that they can help to resolve any discrepancies between their determination and yours. The biggest thing to remember about expedited reviews is that your review will stand alone. There will never be a board discussion about that review, and there will never be a set of meeting minutes associated with your review. So there's no second chance for us to document things correctly outside of your reviewer checklist. So all the documentation we need to rely on will be in your checklist alone for expedited reviews. If you're unsure about which checklist pages apply for a study, do talk with the IRB staff. But like I said earlier, our checklist that we fill out as staff will trigger your checklist and make sure that your checklist is populating correctly. Obviously, mistakes can get made and we may trigger something that shouldn't be triggered. And if you feel like there are questions or you're not certain that a page is relevant, please do let us know so that we can get that corrected and that your checklist can be correct and show the right documentation. So once you're assigned a review, you will need to access that review in Erica. You will receive an email notification for every assignment that is made to you, and the email itself contains a direct link to the review. So you can click on that link and it will open the review in a new browser window for Erica. You can also access your reviews via your Erica inbox as a board reviewer, which I'll show you in a subsequent slide. The reviews that are assigned to you are on the Panel 7 agenda. So Panel 7 has an agenda even though it does not meet, because we have to track all of the reviews that get done by a Panel 7 reviewer on a monthly basis. So an agenda does exist, but you do not need to access it as part of your reviews as you would for a normal convening panel. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a walkthrough through Erica. Many of these things you've seen before, but I want to point out some particular items that are important to doing your reviews from an expedited standpoint. So right now we're going to go into the Erica system. I am logged in as me. I'm also a board member, and I'm able to show you what it looks like from the board member perspective. You'll notice over here, this is my inbox, and I've also got this set to my IRB member role. You may also have a PI role or another role if you happen to be on another committee here at the university that uses the Erica system. So if you're accessing your inbox for the IRB, please make sure you're in your IRB member role. You can see here I've got my new reviews that are ready for review. I've got new studies, amendments, renewals, and report forms. And you can see right here I have an amendment for review. It is labeled as expedited review so that I know where it's coming from. I can click on this here and it will open up the amendment for expedited review that I can complete. From here, I'm able to access the amendment application through this print view button. I'm also able to access the main study application through the modified study button. I'm able to view the differences that are the changes that were made to modify study by clicking the view differences button here. Many of these buttons are the same for when you're reviewing a new study and a continuing review as well, so that will be helpful for you. When you're doing your review, you want to come and click Begin a New Checklist as you're used to doing for your full board reviews. You can see I've already started one here that's in the draft state, so I'll be reopening this. I can edit it from here. I can go in and fill out more pages. This is the print view of what I've already filled out. The most important thing to see here is that as part of this amendment, you can see that I needed to fill out an extra page for confirming the minor changes for expedited review, as well as confirming research that was previously eligible for expedited review. You can see the categories that were requested by the administrator, and I can go ahead and select those same categories as part of my checklist. I'm going to scroll back up here. This is again the print view of my checklist. You can see I've got the submit button. This submit button exists for all checklists, whether they're going to board or whether they're expedited. The important thing as a board reviewer to recognize if you're doing expedited reviews is if you don't click submit on your checklist, you will not be able to move the review forward as you need to as an expedited reviewer. As a board member that's doing reviews for the convened board, we see that everyone can click submit and do that, but it's the staff member that actually moves the review forward after you're done with it, not you. And so in an expedited review setting, you need to ensure that you always click the submit button to submit your checklist, and you need to click OK once that's gone through. The important thing that will now happen as part of your review is if you come back to this amendment application here in the breadcrumbs, you actually now have the ability over here on the left side of the page to click approve. Because you are the only board member who will be reviewing this item, you are responsible for clicking approve. You are that final say. So you've got the approve button here. When you click this, it sends it to the IRB staff member who will send the approval letter from there. If you have changes that you would like to request as part of your review, you can click Request Clarification from IRB staff, and that will send an email to the IRB staff letting them know that you have changes you'd like to see made, and they will go ahead and get those requested for you and then send the review back to you when they're done, and at that point you'll be able to come and click Approve, and we can send the final approval letter from there. Many delays in expedited review happen because the board member has not submitted their checklist, nor have they come and clicked approve here to forward it on to us. So please make sure that you're doing that and that you know where that is. If you are ever not able to find the approve button or you're not able to request clarifications as you need to, please let us know so that we can get things moved forward for you appropriately. If there is ever a case where you would like to review a study at a board meeting, if you want more consensus on your review or you do not feel like the study should be expedited, please contact the IRB staff and we will work out getting this review to a board meeting for you. You may be able to attend that board meeting if you've got time in your schedule to come and present the review and your concerns. If there was ever a case that you're not able to schedule a time to come and present that, we will use your checklist and have another board member present that at the meeting and present your concerns so that the convened board can discuss and make a decision on that review. If there's ever a time that you feel like the study cannot be approved, it's not just you need some changes and then it's fixed. It's if you really don't feel like the study meets approval criteria and must be disapproved. We do have to bring it to a convened meeting for a vote. An expedited reviewer cannot disapprove a study on their own, and it does have to be discussed at the convened board level. So again, in this situation, please contact the IRB staff and we will arrange for the review to go to a meeting so that we can present it for a vote, and you can present your concerns at that meeting. If you have any questions or comments, which you are bound to have, please do not hesitate to contact one of the IRB staff. You're also welcome to contact me. I neglected to introduce myself at the beginning of this presentation, but I'm Ann Johnson. I'm the IRB Associate Director, and you're welcome to chat with me about any problems or concerns that you have regarding your Panel 7 reviews. We're very grateful for the reviews that you do and are hopeful that this will improve a lot of efficiencies for the IRB so that research that is expedited can get reviewed in a very quick fashion, but also be very attentive to the details and the need for good standards in the research. So please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.